Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of the MotorMarvel Podcast.
Yeah, up to 10 already, so it's gone pretty quickly.
Yeah, it has gone
going well so far, mate. Yeah, look, pretty exciting one today. Obviously, we had our track day this week, which is pretty awesome. Going to have a bit of a chat about that later on the episode. But yeah, we had a blast. It was pretty amazing. So
just a quick one. Shout out to Hard Hat Watches, our sponsors. Yep. Exhaust Notes for allowing us to do all the car reviews. And a big shout out to Hyundai for allowing us to track the i30N.
An amazing car. Thanks again, guys.
Big shout out to them. Other than that, we don't have much on the agenda today with news. There hasn't been a lot circulating in the...
Yeah, a few things to have a quick chat about, but yeah, let's
get on to it. So, it seems that the JDM Empire is coming back, which is...
Yeah, the Celica, mate, which is pretty exciting. They were a cool car back in the day. I've never actually driven one. Did you ever get your hands on
one? Front-wheel drive. Yeah, they were pretty cool. Naturally aspirated. They were pretty cool. They
were in the rally and stuff, weren't they?
They weren't the most...
successful.
No, but they weren't the most exciting. They were like an 86 back in the day.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? They were a bit exciting, but they weren't that great.
I don't know huge amounts about it,
yeah,
to be honest.
So that's cool. But this is promising. Now, what I'm noticing, and you're probably going to agree with me on this, we went through a period of time where we all thought all was lost. Because Toyota stopped making the Supra, Mitsubishi stopped making the Evo, Subaru stopped making the STI, and we're like, you know what? We're going to move into an era where this is going to be full of boring, monotonous cars, and then all of a sudden,
they're bringing them all back.
Hyundai came out of the blue with the i30N, which sparked the industry into a frenzy, and now everyone else is playing catch up.
Yeah, we're getting Supras back. We're getting manuals in cars we didn't think we would get manuals in.
And now Toyota, we had the GR Yaris, then we had the GR Corolla, and now they're bringing back the Toyota Celica, which is going to be an all-wheel drive, 2-litre turbo, and it's not going to be an EV. That is going to be really cool.
It's a pretty cool car.
It's a two-door coupe with a 4-cylinder 2-litre turbo all drive. Like, who doesn't want that? That's mad.
That would be pretty cool.
That is a really good combo. And if that's going to share the same platform as the Corolla and the Yaris, it's going to have the manual.
Well, you presume it would, right? If they're putting the all-wheel drive system in it, whatnot.
And it'll have the GR's all-drive system, because why wouldn't you use it?
Surely, you've already developed it.
You've already developed it, so use it. But this is very promising, because what I'm seeing, guys, is I'm actually seeing this trend happening where car manufacturers were pushing away from performance, thinking that was the answer.
Yeah, well, we did. I think we've had years of up and down of going, where is the market going? What do people want? And I think there has just been a bunch of turnaround in different segments. And I think the performance enthusiast segment has one that's probably pushed back a bit on what the change was happening. And car companies are realising this, and they're being successful if they're making cars. Like, again, we talk about it, but they would say they made some enthusiast cars and they did really well out of it.
Because at a period...
Supra's done really well.
Yeah. Because at a period of time, we were going down... So the only cars that were being made hot hatches back then were the Golf GTI, the Renault Megane RS...
Look, we even talked the A45, but that went from more an enthusiast car down the road of more of a...
Yeah, but would you classify the A45 as a hot hatch?
The original.
The original.
The original ones,
now
the current gens...
It's more of a high-performance hatch.
More of a high-performance hatch, I would agree with you.
Because you got like that, then because that competes with the RS3.
Yep.
Then it competes with the... Even though the M2 is not a hatch, it's still in that realm.
Correct. Yep.
Right? Because the M1355i is an abomination now. I'm sorry, BMW fan. I'm a BMW fan, but the new M1355i is an abomination that is not worthy of going up against the RS3 or the A45. The previous gen, the M140i, 100%. Yep. Without a doubt. But this one's like a Golf R competitor.
I think it's nice to see another entry into the, I guess, performance enthusiast section. Again, secretly confirmed, but let's keep an eye out for it. I think it'll be interesting to see what the final product comes.
And hopefully spurs on, like we were speaking in the last podcast, that RX-7.
Oh, yeah.
You know, hopefully Mazda comes out with something.
Yep.
You know, hopefully Subaru brings back the STI, a proper STI, not what we have now.
All these new WRXs.
Oh, there's just
they're no good.
They're no good. They've all got constantly vulgar transmissions, the CVTs.
Yeah.
What in the hell? Like, I just don't understand it. So, hopefully Toyota spurs on the whole of Japan to start making performance JDM cars again.
Yeah.
And modern versions.
It was a huge era of those cars, right? I don't think we probably need to go back and revisit the entire era.
No.
But I think if we can have some cars that are reminiscent of what we were getting in those days and those type of cars, but, modernised, I think that'll be a good way to be.
And hopefully this is the spark to make it happen.
Yeah. All right, so Sal, this is some pretty exciting news. I mean, obviously one of our favourite brands come together with another
Well, two of my favourite brands.
Two of your favourite brands, definitely one of my favourite, but they're coming together to build some pickups, mate. So
we've seen this a lot lately in the. We were talking about this off camera.
Yeah, in the motoring world, we're seeing a fair bit of these collaborations and people coming together to try and make some. Maybe it's just efficiencies, I guess. Even if people have already built some stuff, they're trying to.
It makes sense as a business, right? So, technically speaking, say for example, you are a sports manufacturer, you make sports cars, right? But you want to get into the pickup game.
Yeah.
You don't have any baseline.
Yeah. Well, instead of going from the beginning and building it all from scratch,
you just team up with the manufacturer that's already done it really well.
Super and the Z4, pretty much same type of platforms.
Yep.
Two different cars, different manufacturers, shared a lot of the same stuff.
But the Super sold better than the Z4.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is pretty promising and it's cool. So GM and Hyundai are teamed up. Now, if they make a pickup, I'm sure... Well, let's be honest. It's going to be pretty epic. So you've got GM's going to have the V8, so they're going to have the 6.2 litre V8, right?
That's what they're going to use though?
Well, hopefully that... Well, it's America. They're not going to stop making V8s.
Yeah, but you reckon Hyundai's going to be happy with that in there?
Who knows?
I think it'd be interesting to see.
It'd be awesome if Hyundai... Hear me out. If Hyundai allow for the 6.2 litre V8 and hybridise it.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty wicked...
Because they've got as we know, Hyundai's got a very vast hybrid...
range of things.
Right? And they've obviously got the tech for it.
Yeah, and they've got some fantastic... Some of their new interiors and everything these days are really nice. I'd be interested to see who's actually going to do what in this
product. Yeah. If Hyundai takes charge of build quality, interior, right, and all that, and all GM does is drivetrain, engine, and all... Mate, they're going to make honestly, they'll make probably a very, very, very competitive truck.
Yeah.
So this is cool. This is promising. I can't wait to see it because I love the Silverado. I absolutely adore it.
I see here they're doing it specifically for the Latin American market. So
yes,
I mean, hopefully, if it's successful there, then they might distribute it further.
Expand.
But I guess that's maybe where
because
they see a bit of a market
if you aren't from America, and the Americans will know what this is. Everyone from Australia or everywhere else is going to understand what the hell is this. So what they pretty much done was get a Tucson and make it into a pickup.
Yeah.
It's not a proper 4x4, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
And it's not a proper ute, but it is a bit...
Yeah.
Look, it's not the worst, but it's not a proper pickup.
And look, this is obviously allegedly... Let's see how it goes. Yeah. I think it's a pretty cool collaboration. If they come up with something, I think it'll be pretty awesome. So, yeah, excited to see what they can do. This is some pretty big news.
This is huge.
General Motors to join the F1.
Yeah, so this is massive.
That's huge.
So out of all the news that's happened this week, this is by far the biggest news is that Cadillac is officially joining the 2026 Formula One as the 11th team to enter.
Amazing.
Which is amazing because I don't think America's ever been in Formula One. Try to think about it.
No, I mean, I'm not a huge follower of the Formula One personally, but I can't think of who's in it. But I mean, I think, again, going back to what we talked about a while back, but anyone joining categories and doing stuff like this, I think is just, again, it's good for motorsport, it's good for enthusiasts. You've got more competitors, you've got more diversity, you've got more cars, you've got more interest. And I think, I've got a lot of friends over the last few years who I wouldn't classify as being motorsport enthusiasts. But have jumped on, they've seen the Drive to Survive stuff, they've jumped on, they've watched this, and have become huge F1 fans and really big followers of the sport.
Yep.
And so I think that's really great to see that people are going to it, and I think it's great to still see new manufacturers wanting to be engaged and involved in the sport. So this is exciting.
This puts me on to another thing, guys, is that if Cadillac's joining the Formula One season, now we all know with Formula One cars, the tech is obviously passed down through their actual... production cars.
They try to.
So what does this mean for Cadillac? Is Cadillac entering Formula One because they're going to venture down to making high-performance cars again? Like, are they going to start focusing on building...
Interesting to find out.
Like, they already make the sedans that are the high-performance
GTSVs. They're involved in the stuff, aren't they, in the Cadillacs?
Yeah, some of the Cadillacs are still producing high-performance, but they've now ventured down... Like, in Australia now, we're getting the electric... version, the electric SUV, the new Cadillac electric SUV. That's what's coming to Australia.
Right.
But this is promising because what this means is if they do enter Formula One and they do use that tech, will we see a Cadillac supercar? I don't know. Will we see a Cadillac supercar?
It's a good question.
Is that a possibility?
Yeah.
Because...
Or if we do, it'll still be a long while away.
It'll still be a long while away.
They're joining 2026. There's going to be years of them developing. My understanding most of the time with entering motorsporting, series, it generally takes a couple of years before you even...
But what engine are they going to use?
Yeah.
America doesn't really make... Except for the new Corvette.
Yeah.
With its flat plank V8, which was literally a copy of a 458.
Yeah, well, obviously can't use that in the F1. What are they going to use?
Yeah. Well, what else are they going to use? They're going to have to source an engine from someone.
And that'll be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
Do you reckon they're going to develop one or source
if
one?
they develop one, who knows? They might develop something so good. Look, I wouldn't put it past the Americans. We saw back when Ford versus Ferrari.
Yep.
Right? that beautiful story with the GT40.
Yep.
Right? Ferrari was like, big FU to Ford.
Yep.
Ford was like, nah, we have to beat you. They did everything, and they did.
Yep.
So, I'm not going to put it past the Americans.
Do we have another one?
Do they have? Is this going to be another hurrah for America? They built something that actually is competitive and it takes the win.
Look, I think they're starting from behind. Obviously, They haven't been in it before, but I think let's see where they go. They're obviously going to put a lot of time and effort, and I don't think they would join without some confidence that they can be competitive
100%.
or it can be worthwhile to them. So I think exciting news. Let's keep an eye on it. See what they do.
So go Cadillac.
Yeah, nice. All right, so we had a few spy shots of this a few episodes back, and we were already going, holy, what's going on here? And now we've actually seen it's been released. The Manthey kit for the new 3RS Porsche. And they've taken things as expected from what we already thought was pretty insane to another level.
Extremely stupid.
But look, that's what they do. You even look at the current, the old 3RS, it was this like bigger wing and it's the aerodynamic wheels, it's all the rest of it. And look, they've just done it again, guys. So
I'm not saying I don't like this. I love this, but I just think...
It's wild.
How is that even road legal?
Yeah.
How is that in any essence, one, safe for the roads? Like, okay, that wing...
You're going to cut something in half.
Look at the diffuser on the thing. Yeah. So, usually when you see cars have diffusers, most of the time they're fake. Yeah. That ain't fake.
No, that is a very big diffuser. And that is a very large wing.
And then, I'll slide across... It's got a shark fin. It's got a shark fin that protrudes straight out of the rear window.
Look, if you, God forbid, hit someone and
they're
went
gone
over the top of your car,
they're gone.
They're going to get sliced in half, cut up by a shark wing and a
spoiler.
It's
because that's going to be made out of carbon.
Yeah,
so if someone falls on top of the car, falls into that, what happens to carbon when it breaks? It's a pretty sharky boy.
Yeah. So look, I think again, phenomenal engineering. Right, what they do here is they're trying to take what's already a very
fast
high performance car, right? And giving it even more aero, even more lighter weight magnesium wheels and all the rest of it to try and increase that performance even further. So I'm actually pretty interested to see, how much difference does it make. I don't think we've seen any Nürburgring times or anything out of it yet to see the difference, but there's always generally a little bit of a difference between that Manthey kit and a non, and it's pretty impressive. So
one thing I do like about this, which kind of makes me happy, which Lamborghini's not doing anymore, because they're not how they used to be, is this gives me kind of a reminiscence back to the stupidity of the Countach.
Okay.
With all the wings and all that. But the difference is, this actually has aero.
It's very functional.
This is functional.
Yeah.
But I like it because it's dumb and your inner... childhood, like your inner young self who loved stupid cars, loves this.
If you're already buying a 3RS, it's already a pretty stupid car.
Yeah.
You're just adding a little bit more. Are you really going to...
How many people are going to actually buy this and take it to the track?
A lot of people.
I hope so.
With the Manthey generally.
I pray.
Right?
Because...
If you're going to buy a 3RS with the Manthey...
Yeah, if you're not taking it to that track and you're taking it to just get coffee, that's a bit stupid. Because it's like...
It's a bit overkill for cars and coffee.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But I mean, it looks like intense, right? Like, you learn the crap out of one of those.
And it's hot. I'm not going to say it's not hot. It is sick.
It's a very nice car.
It's a very nice good looking. That now replaces the Countach as stupidity in terms of aerodynamics, but it works. Again, it worked. That is all functional.
It's all about function.
And that's not like a Countach that can't... this aero never worked.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
This will actually slide through the air.
Yeah.
Like anything.
And usually there's a few things they do, right? It's the wing, it's the magnesium wheels and the aerodynamics. It's also generally some suspension upgrades and modifications, sometimes a bit of the brakes as well. And that just, again, makes it even more track-focused. Which, not like it already isn't, but it becomes a very, very track-focused stuff.
Did you just read that? Generating 1,000 kilograms of downforce.
Yeah.
Brings on another point. we know, both of us, that certain people we know have bought the new GT3 RSs.
Yep.
And struggling down the straight are a lot slower than the previous gen.
Yeah.
Would this be even slower?
Well, generally, downforce on the straight, yes. You're going to potentially lose a little bit of top speed.
Yeah.
Take, for example, even the previous gen, I had the 3RS, but the GT3 was generally quicker down the straight than I was.
Yeah.
But obviously the aerodynamics is where you're handling through the corners.
Can you imagine this thing through the corners?
Yeah, well, it would be on
rails.
It
wouldn't move.
It would be on rails.
It wouldn't move. Yeah. There's no need for all drive. Just
No. I mean, they've never been anyway.
No, they've never been, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
the turn in and the feel of a Porsche like this on the track is quite...
Could you imagine that on... I would love us to get one of those on the track.
Well, maybe. So I'll work on that one for us.
Yeah, we're slowly building up. We started with the Hyundai i30N, which we'll talk about later on.
Yeah.
Then we'll move to BMW, and then we'll get to
keep going.
Porsche.
Hopefully get one of these on the track for you.
But that is, at the end of the day, it is a phenomenal piece of machinery, and I really do like it, but I just think for road use, it's a bit absurd.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, Sal, first track day. What do we reckon?
Well, not first track day.
First track day for us.
Yeah, for us, and for me on S&P. I've never, ever driven at Sydney Motorsport Park.
The official first MotorMarvel track day that we did together with a car from Hyundai.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
It was phenomenal. Look, that car, to sum it up, just to make it really easy, is the best hot hatch in that price range.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, what else compares? I don't think there's anything. We loved it.
I loved it. And in the video, I said, like we've spoken about this, when you're a motoring enthusiast, you usually start with a GTI, then you go BMW M3, and then you go Porsche, the King, the 911 GT3 RS,
you can't have the trajectory if you can get there.
Yeah, right? If you can get there, I think, and like I said in the video, move aside Golf GTI.
Yeah.
And here comes the i30N. The car is just, like you said, Nick, from the box, from just buying it.
Look, if you're talking about a car that both, new people and experienced drivers can enjoy, it ticks all the boxes. The manual was raw, you could feel everything, it was notchy, it was great. It's auto blipping and downshifting for you, so it's helping you, be a better driver. But it also sounds cool, and it just makes life easier. And out there, as we were saying too, it really gives you that confidence when you're on the track.
To drive fast.
And
out of the box, it just has everything.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I've driven GTIs. I've had two GTIs. I've had a Mark 5 and I've had a Mark 7, right? Yeah. I love my Mark 7 performance pack. It was a great car. Yeah. But this wiped it. The amount of customization that you can do in a car, I would expect in a car that was worth over 100 grand, like an M3.
Oh, well, we were messing around with everything, right? You've got all the configuration, the end modes, you've got all the setup, all the different things. You've got inbuilt laps with lap timing. I mean, the stuff in that car.
It's got an electronic LSD, which you can change. It's got everything, like the engine response. You can, the exhaust note, like the sound of the exhaust, everything can be changed and modified to suit your driving style.
We did a whole track night, both of us driving.
Yeah. And the battery's running low.
Oh, thanks, mate. And at the end of the night, the car held up in every way.
Yeah.
There was not a problem. Brakes, tyres, engine, everything.
Yeah.
Jumped in the car, drove it home.
And did you notice in the corners, when you did hard cornering, the arse end kicked out?
A little bit of oversteer.
Which is so unusual in a front-wheel drive car.
I thought we were just going to get some push oversteer, understeer, push understeer, and you kind of had to, wrestle with that. Not really. No. I mean, there was a little there if you buried it, but once you sort of started getting on it and doing some turning, that arse did start to come out on you a bit.
And it's so playful.
Yeah, it was fun.
And note that you did say, which was true, because you left just towards the end, because you had family stuff, just normal, I could agreed. And I took out on the last lap that I went out, which I didn't time, which I'm an idiot, because I did the best time on that lap, right? But it doesn't matter, because Nick did give me advice. A fast lap is a smooth and tame lap, not what I did when I went out my first time, which I went really aggressive.
Yeah, if you're really aggressive and you're just throwing it, and the car's going to be everywhere. The age-old saying, smooth is fast. Smooth is fast.
But what I was getting to is that I did notice the revs. It only revved over 6.5. I felt like you needed a little bit more.
It would have been nice, I would agree with you.
I'm not saying there wasn't torque. There was plenty of torque down low, 100%.
Never felt like you didn't have power.
No.
Yeah.
But I would have liked it to rev out a little bit more.
Yeah. I would agree.
But that's the only complaint that I would say. But it's not really a complaint. It's just like
a preference.
A preference,
it would have been nice,
But I just love the fact, like you were saying, you can do that. You can take it to the track, you can smash it, and then get in, go home.
Yeah, and you got track warranty.
And you got track warranty.
And the car performed.
And I think the only other manufacturer that offers that is Porsche.
Yeah. So, I mean, like from a wrap-up from us guys from the night, 10 out of 10. Car was amazing. We had a fun time. I had a blast with you, Sal, going around, having a look at the car.
It was so good.
It was...
and it kind of made me come to the realization that I should never have bought a Ute. I should have just bought an i30. Who knows? We might buy a track car.
See how we go.
In the coming months. Who knows? But I really loved it. I want to do more of it. So big shout out to Hyundai and Hyundai in Australia for letting us do that and making that possible, as well as Exhaust Notes Australia, because they supply us with all the cars for review. So a massive shout out to them.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
But yeah, to wrap it up, if you are considering buying like a track car, right? You are looking to go and do a couple of track days. I would say go buy yourself an i30N.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
It would be one of the first on my list to recommend to anyone. To at least
start off.
At least a starting point.
Yeah.
If they were talking, I want something for the daily and have a bit of track fun, I'd say go and look at the i30N, because I would be surprised if anyone's going to come away going, no.
It's just that. It's like, yes, now some people might argue and go, you're saying it's the best hot hatch, but what about the Golf R and, you know, the 845 AMG? Well, first of all, the 845 AMG is a hyper hatch. It's not a hot hatch. That's a hyper hatch. That thing beats freaking supercars.
Right? And it's become a lot more less...
boy racer and...
Correct. Less boy racer and a bit more
gentleman-like. And same with the RS3, that is a hyper hatch. That thing goes up against Lambos and stuff. That thing's crazy, right?
And again, we know those aren't very good on the track.
No. And the Golf R, like, you could say that the Golf R's priced near it, but honestly, I've driven a Golf R. Yes, they are fast in a straight line, without a doubt, with their all-wheel drive system. But you take that through corners, it's boring. It's nowhere near as fun as the i30.
I think for engagement and enjoyment, it's pretty hard to beat. Manual was fantastic. That was a hoot to
I would definitely get manual over auto.
Yeah, look, I haven't driven a manual for a while. It was just great to jump in and, you know, go through those gears and feel it. It was fun.
So that sums up our track day. And again, thank you to our sponsors, and also thank you to Hyundai and Hyundai in Australia. Very big thank you. Other than that, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. The video for that track day will be out soon. So stay tuned on the Instagram and obviously on this YouTube channel, because it'll be on here. But other than that, we'll catch you next week on another episode of the MotorMarvel Podcast.
Thanks, guys.